Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. I woke up so excited this morning. Day one of our self-love challenge. We are in 2026. And today I'm going to start with how I define self-love, because really everything that we do comes back to this. And coming back to this over and over and over, practicing it over and over and over, is the foundation of our self-love. So it's very important. Before I dive into that, I just want to say that I am leading this thing, and I also need it. I was concerned, am I going to be able to do this challenge with what I'm going through right now? We're having some health issues with my husband's family, and it's really intense. And, I'm doing this because I need it just as much as everyone else. And I think so often we can be like, oh, I'm too busy for this, right? But it's so important. It's even more important in those times to come back to yourself and to remember all of these things that we do, because especially whenever you're in service of other people, you want to be okay yourself. So yeah, even if you're busy, making time for this can make your busyness feel so much better. So with that said, I'll be doing these challenges along with you, and I do them every time I can remember, which is getting more frequent. So, if you fall off the path, that's okay. That's part of it. It's remembering to come back to it, getting better at that time in between falling off and coming back. That's what it's all about. To not shame ourselves whenever we get off the track, and disassociate and space out and do all these things. So, my definition of self-love is the ability to be kind to yourself, to respect yourself, and to trust yourself. So those are the three core pillars of love. And whenever we're talking about self-love, we just kind of direct them towards ourselves. And so for today's challenge, and throughout this whole 21 days, and hopefully beyond, all day, every day, right? Really noticing when you're being kind to yourself and noticing when you're not being kind to yourself. And this one was the one where I started. I noticed that I was always so critical of myself, so judgmental of myself, calling myself names. If I made a mistake, I was really hard on myself. I would never speak to anybody the way that I spoke to myself. And that is really eye-opening whenever you realize that you're treating yourself really badly, and you wouldn't treat other people that way. It's why do we do this? So just when you're going through your day, try and put more awareness around how you're talking to yourself. How do you react whenever you make a mistake? If you make a mistake, does it make you the worst person in the world and you're an idiot and a crap bag, and what's going on in your head whenever you make a mistake, or whenever you're just feeling bad? Are you let's say you have anxiety or you're scared of something, do you tell yourself that you're a weak piece of crap because of that? Or do you say, oh, that's interesting, I wonder what that's about, because these little things make so much difference. And that's what, whenever I first started doing this, and I would find myself in a situation, probably me making a mistake or not doing something as good as I could, I would be calling myself a name, and then I would put a stop sign up in my head and say, stop, let's reframe this. So the first step, though, is noticing how often you're doing it. When are you doing it? Are you doing it when you make a mistake? Are you doing it whenever you're feeling anxiety? Are you doing it whenever you're feeling guilty? You know? So becoming aware of that. And then you can start to reframe it once you're aware of it. So like, let's say the mistake one, like you make a mistake and you, instead of like, okay, I made a mistake, now I'm calling myself an idiot. I put that stop sign up and I say, hey, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a bad person. I'm a human that made a mistake and I'm learning and growing from it. So that's kind of the reframe. But it doesn't work if you're not aware. So today's challenge is really just watching yourself throughout the day. And, you know, we get sidetracked, we get into our routines and our habits, and we kind of like disassociate a little bit. But trying to reassociate watching yourself throughout the day. And if at the very minimum, I would say checking in, you know, before you go to bed. Like, how did I talk to myself today? Did I call myself any names today? Like, how did I react whenever this happened or that happened? And just kind of really creating some space there. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes before you go to bed or whenever you first wake up, you can inventory your day and how kind were you to yourself today. That's the kindness. Now with the trust. The trust, we want to become aware of, you know, like for me right now, my big one is that like I like to stay up at night. And then I get up in the morning and I'm so tired and I'm like, tomorrow night I'm gonna go to bed earlier. And then I stay up late and then I wake up tired. So like self-trust can be any number of things, but whenever we say we're gonna do something, like whenever I wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm gonna go to bed early tomorrow, and then I don't, that's breaking the trust that I have with myself. So what I really did here initially was I stopped kind of telling myself that I was going to be doing all these things. And I took all of the load off and it's like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, you know, so that I wasn't lying to myself saying that I'm going to do this, but not really doing it. So that's one way. But then it's kind of like, oh, anything goes, you know, and that's not disciplined or anything like that. But at least you're not lying to yourself and you can start to rebuild that trust. You can follow through. Like, let's say, you know, I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee, and then you go make yourself a cup of coffee. Like doing small things like that to rebuild that trust. And then, you know, just becoming aware of whenever you're doing that, like I do with my sleep, you know, and not in a shameful or like you're a piece of crap kind of way, but just becoming aware of it, that, hey, I am telling myself that I'm going to do this, but I'm not following through. And then maybe you just tell yourself, hey, you can stay up as late as you want. And then whenever you feel tired in the morning, you say, okay, I feel tired and that's okay. I did that to myself, but it's not like you said you were going to do it, but then you didn't. Does that make sense? It's these little things. Can we keep these little promises to ourselves? And it doesn't even have to be verbally spoken. It's like the things we say in our head. A while back, I was trying to cut out food late at night. Like, I like to eat cereal at 10 o'clock at night. And I'd been working with someone, and they were like, you shouldn't eat after 8 or 9 because it messes up your digestion and all this. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. And then every night I would still do it. So I think it's almost just as bad to say, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this, and keep doing it. You know, it messes with that self-trust. So finding the things that you can actually follow through with, and eliminating the things that you are not. And then you can start to build, you know, and say, oh, maybe I'm going to see how this goes, instead of saying I'm going to do this. And there's a whole bunch more that goes in with self-trust, but I think it really starts with these very little, seemingly inconsequential things, but there's so many of them. So just becoming aware of all the times throughout the day that you say you're going to do something, but then you like change your mind or you make excuses or whatever it may be. I mean, we all do this, and that's okay, but starting to become aware of them so that we can limit them and then actually start following through with what we actually intend. And I know it's a lot easier said than done. These things are like processes. And I do want to say that last night I did go to bed earlier. So it does end up working out for you whenever you become aware of it and you like ease off of yourself. Like, I'm not a crap bag because I'm staying up, you know, I just want to stay up, and that's fine. And then the respect one is like listening to yourself, and that's really where we're going to be for most of this challenge, because it is, I think, the thing that we miss the most. We were all taught that our emotions are not good, that they make us weak. When we're feeling anxiety, we want to make it go away, you know, but that's not it. It's about listening to yourself. That's what respect is listening. And so often, you know, maybe we feel uncomfortable in a situation or something, and we tell ourselves, like, you know, we shouldn't feel that way. We try and fix it. We try and make it go away. We suppress it. We ignore it. And all of these things hurt your trust and your kindness and your respect. So really becoming aware of when you're feeling a certain way that's maybe not preferred. How are you treating yourself during that? Are you allowing yourself to feel that? Or are you trying to fix it or make it go away or stop? And that is a biggie. So that is what self-love is to me in a nutshell, is your ability to be kind to yourself, to trust yourself, and to listen or respect yourself. And so for today's challenge, I just want you to watch yourself and take inventory. How many times was I unkind to myself? How many times did I say I was going to do something and then I didn't end up doing it? How many times did I try and fix my feelings instead of sitting there with them and listening to them? And, you know, just creating some space, no judgment, no criticism, just watching and observing, getting curious, like, maybe why is this happening? And, you know, how can I do it differently? Because once you tweak these 3 things, it's like, it's so amazing. Like, you can start to like be yourself. You know that you've got yourself, and that's everything. It's everything. And so thank you for being here, and I look forward to the next 21 days. We've got lots of time, and I'm so excited. And yeah, let me know in the comments, let me know in the chat. There's a messenger group for this, so let me know what comes up. And if you have any questions, reach out, and I will see you tomorrow.